Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about feeling demotivated in a new country. So let's get into it. So the question in question was a little bit of a story. Hi Frederick, this is X, Y, and Z. You can probably guess my name, but I want to remain anonymous. Don't worry guys, I would never, unless you explicitly tell me that, oh, this user is that's who I am and I want you to name me when I make a video. I won't do that. Privacy and like that's the whole thing, right? This is an area of trust. It's a safe place. We're just talking about coding stuff, who you are and what you what you're all about. That's your business. I'll gladly share it if you want to, but default is you are safe. First of all, I love your channel and I watch your videos. Thank you. I also learned a lot from some of your projects you did, like Fmail. Oh, okay, you actually watched that. Okay, that's nice. Since you answer a lot of questions in your videos, I thought I would give it a try. So my background: I am an international student. Just graduated with a master's. I had with a bachelor's in computer engineering. I had professional experience for about a year of software development in my home country. After my bachelor's, then I decided to go to a new country. I used to work mostly in Python, data analysis, and some JavaScript. It's been 2 years now in this new country and I haven't found any relevant job, which makes me feel incompetent. It makes me feel incompetent, worthless, and severely lacking in confidence at this point. I thought I was good because I did well in my studies, as well as I'm one of the very few who got hired for my first job through a series of interviews and an internship program. And nowadays I just do odd jobs here and there, which makes me tired physically as well. However, I know how beautiful it is. However, I know how beautiful it is that I can write this message and send it to someone in a matter of seconds. This keeps me motivated, but these days I feel that I am useless and I can't make a living from programming. Now I'm focusing on web development, mostly React and Node and other relevant technologies too. I make a few projects here and there and learn anything related to computer science, not just web development. The problem is that I don't have a permanent visa to stay here and it's difficult to get a job here. On top of that, I don't really have a lot of confidence now. It's been 2 years already. I just want to go out there and gain real industry experience and not just make to-do lists 10 times. It hurts to see my friends moving on, doing things, helping their families and loved ones, and I can't even get a job, which I have a passion for, and help out my family in this dire situation due to the virus. My question: what should I do? Do I keep on learning until I get a chance? Do I fake it until I make it? Or should I go back? Well, this is going to be a little bit tough for me to answer, mostly because fundamentally I don't know what the issue might be. So I'll just give you some thoughts on based on what I heard you say here. So the first thing you mention is that okay, you have a bachelor's degree and you have a master's degree. These are very good things. These are like, so that now you've stacked the deck in your favor because now your education is very relevant. Now the other part is that you say that you've primarily worked in, say, Python with data analysis. Well, with a little bit of JavaScript, and you kind of touched on that. Well, I don't know so much about your background as to what you've been doing for work purposes and so forth, but if you're finding it difficult to find job, it might be the reason might be that you don't actually work in a region where anybody cares about Python, as an example. And so the first thing I would say is that if you find it hard to find work, you should always consider what are the reasons for that. Are you being rejected in the interviewing stage, or are you never being contacted in the first place? Are you never hearing back from anybody when you're reaching out to them? So if you're never getting contacted in the first place, well, then your CV might be the issue, or it might be, as I said, like you might be a Python person in a region where nobody cares about Python whatsoever. I mean, finding a Python job here in, say, Gothenburg, well, it probably can be done, but it's like almost hilariously hard. If you want to find a job here, as an example, the best bets would be things such as Java, C#, JavaScript, or like front-end development, things like that. There are others, of course, as well, in PHP and so forth. But Python isn't really used. It's there's a lot of languages who you would find it really hard to find in this region. So that's something to really think about, and that's kind of touching on that thing I've said a few times. You need to check the job postings. What are they about? And then try to make sure that you have the relevant skills. On the other hand, if let's say that you get to the interview and you're never getting a call back, well, then it's likely that it might be your social skills or your raw coding skills that are the issue. It's hard for me to say without more information, but these are things that I would look into. And I mean, if you want to work on these sorts of things, there's tons of information out there on the internet how to fix these sorts of things. And of course, I mean, I have probably, I don't even remember half the videos that I've made at this point. You do a search on the channel and see if I've answered questions related to this sort of stuff before, but because I can't cover like everything as part of this. Other things that I would consider if I were you is to take a look at talking to, say, consultancies. So a consultancy, they usually have different, depending on the consultancy now. Some of them are just interested in senior developers or mid-level developers, but there's usually like a range to the sort of people that they are looking for. So that might be an option for you. You can also consider reaching outside of your country that you find yourself in, and actually see if there are international roles that allow for remote work or relocation or things like that. You can try doing the freelance thing a little bit to see if like this, but that's, as I said, it really depends on your CV. Like, it depends on what the issue is, because usually it's the same issue. That's at least my experience. Usually software developers are finding it hard to find work, have decided like they have an issue that needs to be fixed in order for the companies to feel like comfortable contacting them, and say that your CV was lacking in experience. Well, then doing freelancing work is a way for you to actually get some experience to bridge that, as I like to say, the gap between where you are right now and where you need to be in order for a bigger software company or something like that to be interested. And as for the impact that all of this is having on your emotional state, I think that it's very important that you understand why you feel the way that you do and learn how to process it. Because the thing is, being inexperienced is always going to be hard. It's something, it's for whatever you do, there's always going to be anxiety, it's going to be, there's going to be fear. But it's important for you to gain, I like to call it this healthy perspective. I think it is a healthy perspective at the very least. Understand that nothing is permanent. Everything is always in transition. What I'm saying here is basically you can view your fear and anxiety as just a disease or a temporary state that you need to push through. Because if you let it break you, then you're not going to go anywhere. But as long as you're moving, this will pass. And everyone develops their own way to deal with failure, and everyone tries to do something. Anybody who's ever tried to do something hard and fail, well, they know that is the path to success. Failing is part of it. Trust me, I've done it. Every one of my coworkers have done it in some fashion. It's not like it's part of becoming something better than what you are. And what I argue is that inner strength comes from feeling like you are improving, and that is that you are worth something, basically. So the best tip I can give you is to continue your learning process, because the more you learn about programming, the better you're going to feel about yourself. I can promise you that much. It's the same. It's like confidence in your skills and abilities is the surest medicine against anxiety and fear and insecurities and so forth. But don't forget to take care of your body and make sure that you engage in other activities, because programming is great, but it's not the only thing out there. There are many things that might make you feel better about yourself. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you're finding it hard to find employment, a few things you should always consider is, number one, why is that? Like, well, what is the reason behind the whole, like, nobody is hiring you? Like, what's going on? And it might be that you're CV needs to be touched up. It might be that you have a skill set that isn't really the thing that is being requested in your specific region. It might be that your social skills are lacking, or your raw coding skills, like in the interviews. Like, how are you doing in the interviews if you're getting to that point? And if these are things to look into, consider talking to consultancies, different range of employment options, because once you get some stuff on your CV, it might get a little bit easier for you. If you're finding it hard to even do that, look at freelancing work. There are many smaller businesses that are looking for freelancers, and consider as well, like, remote work outside of your country, or maybe relocating. That's also an option. And apart from that, remember that, like, failure and feeling anxiety, that is something that is part of learning something new, and software development isn't something that is all that easy. It is something that requires effort and hardship, but it's also the thing that is going to make you stronger. It's the thing that is going to improve you in many ways. So look at it as a temporary thing, and if the best medicine for all of these issues that you are facing is to continue your learning and become more proficient in your skills and feel more confident in your skill. And finally, understand something. If all else fails, remember that all that really matters is that you feel happy, and that you feel like you have something to spend your time on that you actually enjoy. And if that's programming, or you decide to abandon that path and go somewhere else, that doesn't matter. There's no shame in it. Like, just do the thing that feels right for you. That's all anybody should care about. Have a great day.